Today's story: the decision of the king of Abyssinia. In that era, anyone who stands before the king of Abyssinia must salute him by prostrating to him. But when the companions stood before him, they did not prostrate. They agreed on being honest, truthful, and righteous no matter what. Umar ibn Kathīr once said a remarkable saying. He said, "Be honest even if it kills you." You guys, no matter what trouble you're in or you find yourselves into, always remember to be truthful. All 80 companions agreed on choosing Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, the Prophet's cousin, as their representative and the one who speaks on behalf of them. In our day-to-day lives, we stumble upon events and situations that might seem offensive and bad to us from the first glance. But after a while, we realize how good those events were to us, and that our lives wouldn't be this good if it wasn't for those bad situations. This was the case for the companions al-Sahaba when they entered on al-Najashī. They stood before him and his ministers, and Amr ibn al-As and Abdullah ibn Rabi'a were also there. But the companions did not prostrate to al-Najashī when they stood before him. There, Amr ibn al-As and Abdullah ibn Rabi'a looked at al-Najashī as if they were telling him, "Those Muslims stood up before you without respecting you or prostrating to you." Al-Najashī said to the companions, "What is your religion? It is neither Judaism or Christianity." Ja'far ibn Abi Talib said, "Almighty King, we used to be infidels. We worshipped idols. We ate carrion. We were bad neighbors. We shed blood. Everything was neither lawful nor prohibited until Allah sent a prophet from among us, whom we know for being honest and loyal. He invited us to worship Allah alone and abandon the stones and idols that we and our fathers used to worship. He commanded us to speak the truth and return trust to their rightful owners and maintain kinship and be good neighbors. And He commanded us to stay away from shedding blood and consuming the wealth of orphans. He commanded us to worship Allah alone. He commanded us to establish prayer and give zakah and fast the month of Ramadan. Hence, we believed in Him and followed His commandments and what He brought from Allah. Therefore, we worshipped Allah and we prohibited what He prohibited and allowed what He allowed. But our people took us as enemies, and they tormented us and compelled us to abandon our religion and return to worshipping idols other than Allah and allow abominations. And as they oppressed us and turned our lives into hell, we migrated to your land and favored you and wanted to live next to you to never be wronged again." Al-Najashī was a smart man. No one could make a fool of him. He said to Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, "Have you got something of what the Prophet brought from Allah?" There he meant the Holy Quran. Ja'far ibn Abi Talib said, "Yes, I do." Al-Najashī replied, "Well then, show me what you've got." There, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib started reciting Surah Maryam, chapter 16, verses 1 till 22. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Kaf ha ya ayn sad. ذكر رحمة ربك عبده زكريا إذ نادى ربه نداء خفيا قال ربي أني وهن العظم مني واشتعل الرأس شيبا ولم أكن بدعائك ربي شقيا وإني خفت الموالي من ورائي وكانت امرأتي عاقرا فهب لي من لدنك وليا يرثني ويرث من آل يعقوب واجعله ربي رضيا يا زكريا إنا نبشرك بغلام اسمه يحيى لم نجعل له من قبل سميا قال ربي أنى يكون لي غلام وكانت امرأتي عاقرا وقد بلغت من الكبر عتيا قال كذلك قال ربك هو علي هين وقد خلقتك من قبل ولم تك شيئا قال رب اجعل لي آية. قال آيتك ألا تكلم الناس 3 ليال سويا. فخرج على قومه من المحراب فأوحى إليهم أن سبحوا بكرة وعشيا. يا يحيى خذ الكتاب بقوة وآتيناه الحكم صبيا وحنانا من لدنا وزكاة وكان تقيا وبرا بوالديه ولم يكن جبارا عصيا وسلام عليه يوم ولد ويوم يموت ويوم يبعث حيا. واذكر في الكتاب مريم إذ انتبذت من أهلها مكانا شرقيا فاتخذت من دونهم حجابا فأرسلنا إليها روحنا فتمثل لها بشرا سويا. قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا. قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا. قالت أنى يكون لي غلام ولم يمسسني بشر ولم أك بغيا. قال كذلك قال ربك هو علي هين ولنجعله آية للناس ورحمة منا وكان أمرا مقضيا. The verses always give me goosebumps. In English and in summary, when the prophet Zechariah expresses doubt that he could bear a child with his barren wife, Allah replies to him saying, "It is easy for me." Allah then provides several examples of miracles he has performed as proof that he is able to accomplish the impossible. Furthermore, he provides Mary, who's still a virgin, a son, a miracle of the birth of Jesus Christ from the Virgin Mary. Ja'far ibn Abi Talib stopped the recitation at this verse. Right after that, al-Najashi started crying in front of his ministers and everybody. Not only that, but they all started crying too. Al-Najashi then said, "This Quran has the same light that comes out of the lantern that Moses had in the Torah. You are now safe." Then he turned to Abdullah ibn Rabi'a and Umar ibn al-As and said to them, "I swear by the name of Allah that I shall not return them to Mecca." Abdullah ibn Rabi'a and Amr ibn al-As were roasted. They were shocked that they failed. And as they left, Amr ibn al-As said, "Tomorrow I will tell him something that will turn the table around." Amr ibn al-As returned the next day to al-Najashi and said, "Almighty King, they say strange things about Jesus Christ." And of course, al-Najashi was still a Christian. Al-Najashi called the Muslims again to inquire about what he heard from Amr ibn al-As. The Muslims sensed that he's going to ask them something about what they know about Jesus, yet they still all agreed on being truthful and say nothing but what the Prophet came with. Al-Najashi asked them, "What do you think of Jesus Christ?" Ja'far ibn Abi Talib said, "We believe that Jesus Christ is the servant and the prophet of Allah, and his word that he gave to Virgin Mary." As al-Najashi was sitting, he grabbed a small stick and said, "You see this stick? The difference between what you said and what Jesus Christ said is as small as this stick," meaning that what Ja'far said does not contradict with what Jesus Christ has said. Al-Najashi's ministers were furious, but al-Najashi looked at them and said, "The Muslims are still right no matter how angry you get." Then al-Najashi said to the companions, "You can leave in peace. As long as you are on this land, you are all safe. Whoever insults you shall be punished. I would never hurt a single one of you." He looked at Amr ibn al-As and Abdullah ibn Rabi'a and ordered them to take their gifts away and leave Abyssinia. Indeed, what a great king. After some time, one of the Abyssinians turned against al-Najashi and started a war on him, which burdened the Muslims because they were living safe and sound under al-Najashi's protection. And they were worried that if this man kills al-Najashi, he will take the rule and he will not appreciate the existence of Muslims in Abyssinia. here, the Muslims started praying to Allah to help al-Najashi against his enemy. After the war against al-Najashi started, the Muslims sent al-Zubayr to check on what's happening. Al-Zubayr had to swim across the Nile River to reach Abyssinia, just to know what happened in the battle. Fortunately, al-Najashi won his war against his rival. And after that, al-Zubayr went back to his people to tell them the news of the victory of al-Najashi. He told them, "Abshiru, faqad adhara Allahu al-Najashi." Al-Najashi has won. The Muslims were tremendously happy with the victory because they lived in total peace under his protection. And they can never forget how al-Najashi helped them. Till we meet next time.